Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Agoura Hills City Council meeting. Please silence all cell phones and other electronic devices. If you wish to speak or submit a written comment, please complete a comment card for each item and submit to the clerk prior to the public comment portion of the item. I'm now calling the meeting to order. I'm going to read our land acknowledgement. The City of Agoura Hills acknowledges that we occupy land originally and still inhabited and cared for by the Chumash Nation. Descendants of Chumash still remain, and we honor and pay our respects to their elders and various groups that make up the past, present, and emerging as they continue their stewardship of our lands and waters. We have a responsibility and commitment to elevate the stories, culture, and community of the original inhabitants of the City of Agoura Hills, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to live and work on these ancestral lands. I will now defer to Michelle Hubbs to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Michelle. I will defer to the clerk for the roll call.
Good evening. Councilmember Anderson, Councilmember Anstead.
Here.
Councilmember Klein-Lopez.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Wolf.
Present.
Mayor Sylvester.
Present.
Mayor Sylvester, you have a quorum with Councilmember Anderson absent.
Thank you. I'm now requesting approval of the agenda. Will the maker of the motion and second to approve the agenda state your names?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. Deborah Klein-Lopez.
This is City Councilman Chris Anstead. I second that.
Thank you. I'll defer to the clerk for the roll call.
Councilmember Anstead.
Aye.
Councilmember Klein-Lopez.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wolf.
Aye.
Mayor Sylvester.
Aye.
Mayor Sylvester, you have approval 4-0.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. It is now my pleasure to announce the business of the month. And this month, we're honoring Martin Centeno from the Agoura Vacuum's Traveling Mop Shop. Martin, would you like to join me up here? I'll step down so I'm not bowing over you. I'm proud to recognize Agoura Vacuums, the Traveling Mop Shop, as our business of the month. Previously located in the Twin Oaks Shopping Center, Martin Centeno took over running the vacuum shop when they moved to their current location in the Canaan Shopping Center in 2010. They have been a trusted part of Agoura Hills, offering expert vacuum sales and repairs, as well as top-tier cleaning products and services. Whether you're in need of a new vacuum or just a quick, reliable repair, they deliver with professionalism and care. Martin is loved by all of his customers, who have amazing things to say about him on the business's Yelp page. And Martin has always been supportive of our community. I remember when I was PFC president at Agoura High School, you generously donated a vacuum to our PFC for our library, and we really appreciated that. And Martin was especially supportive during the COVID epidemic in 2020, when many of us, including myself, relied on you to keep us stocked with essential cleaning supplies. So thank you, Martin, for your commitment to quality and for being such a valued part of our community. Congratulations. Would you like to say a few words?
Nope, just thank you to the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I would like to present you Lovely. And now I'd like to call on Council Member Jeremy Wolf to read our proclamation for this evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Pro Mayor Pro Tem. I'm Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you, Mayor Sylvester. So, I did not know this, but I am now, I'm actually need to call up Amy and Charmaine. So I'm going to be speaking about Arbor Day, and I bet everyone didn't know that in 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day to be set aside for planting of trees. This holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with planting more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. For the second consecutive year, the National Arbor Day Foundation has recognized Agoura Hills as a Tree City USA designee. Trees can be a solution to combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, and producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. Trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper and wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. That reminds me of the giving tree. Trees in our city increase property tax values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community, and wherever they are planted, trees are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. The maintenance and preservation of our urban forest will benefit generations of Agoura Hills residents and align with the city's commitment to preserving our urban forests. Trees will be planted in various locations throughout the community to celebrate Arbor Day. On behalf of the entire City Council, Mayor Sylvester proclaims April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the city of Agoura Hills, California, and urges all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands to promote the well-being of this and future generations. So I'm now going to turn it to you both to see if you have anything to add on.
Well, thank you so much. I'm honored to accept the Arbor Day proclamation on behalf of Public Works and Community Services. Agoura Hills, we're so lucky to be surrounded by such natural beauty, and trees play such a large part of what makes our community special. Arbor Day is a great way to remind ourselves to care and for our environment, not just for today, but every day. And I'm excited to also announce that the city will be planting oak trees on National Arbor Day this Friday, April 25th at Old Agoura Park, and throughout the week we're also planting oaks along Canaan in the medians. So that's to celebrate Arbor Day. So whether you're planting a new tree or you're protecting our open space or simply walking under our beautiful majestic oaks, everything that we might do helps keep Agoura Hills green and thriving, and I'm thrilled to be part of that commitment. So thank you, and happy Arbor Day, everybody.
Thank you. I'll now call back up the mayor, or are you going to do this from the,
No, I
the dais?
think our next presentation
Okay.
is from the California Association of Public Information Officials, CAPIO. So I will call Vice President of Ward Stephen Baird to the podium.
Thank you, Mayor Sylvester, and good evening, Council. Yes, my name is Stephen Baird. I am representing the California Association of Public Information Officers here this evening. You may remember me from my last appearance here last year to do the same thing, which is to recognize the great accomplishment that the city of Agoura Hills has received through this year's CAPIO Epic Awards. So our Epic Award program is an annual awards program that basically takes submissions from not only our over 1,000 members, but even non-member agencies can still put forth their best work. They are judged independently. We do a judging exchange with the Texas Association of Municipal Officers, TAMIO. So it's very transparent, it's very fair. That's one of the things we really, really pride ourselves on. This year we had a record over 500 submissions for the program. It really blew me away because the previous year was only 400. So I'm not good at math, but it seems like that was a really big jump. So it's become highly competitive. And I think the reason why is because really, since COVID, the work that the communications departments across cities, special districts like where I work, counties, and government have really had to step up and become that conduit between the communities we serve and the tough decisions and tough works that councils like you do. With that being said, the City of Agoura Hills this year is not your first award. So I do want to make sure to recognize and hope I can help you understand that the consistency and the excellence that is submitted every single year from this organization is continually recognized. So when you guys rebranded, you were recognized for that, and obviously Life is Good podcast, you were recognized for that. And so this year, I think this is really cool. You are recognized for our special or community event category. So that is basically, and this is the one time, so this is not an annual event like Race Adobe Days would be. This is a special event. And we had so many submissions for this category that we had to break it down by budget, because obviously a huge highway opening for $100,000 shouldn't be competing with a small community event for $5,000. And so you guys won in the budget category of $5,000 to $15,000, and you won for your Celebrating Our Diverse Cultures, which was your 2024 State of the City address. And so it's a very competitive category, like I said, and it's really a great honor. And I really first off, I love seeing you guys win because I'm the vice president of awards, and I feel like we're all kind of connected here, and these are my people. So there is definitely a little bit of pride for me, but I also think it's really important to just say, pass on our gratitude as an organization. We're a volunteer organization, and it starts with councils like you and executives like you that allow Mary, where'd she go? Mary, to come and be a part of it. And, you know, at Capio, what I always say is the return on investment is the people you meet and the colleagues and the network you build. And so having someone as talented as Mary being able to come in and help the organization is just a net benefit for everybody. And I also wanted to pass on my personal gratitude to Mary and you, because I don't know if you remember, but in November you hosted Capio. We did a special kind of members-only event where we had Mayor Pro Tem Wolf and Ramiro, as well as representatives from the World Wildlife Federation, to speak about all of the efforts communication-wise and what it takes to build the world's largest, wildlife crossing. And so a lot of the planning was done by Mary. We couldn't have done it without her. And then at our conference where you guys were awarded your award, she really managed and took control of the setup for our awards dinner, which is kind of the final hoorah. And again, I couldn't have done it without you. So my gratitude personally to you. And again, congratulations from Capio, and a huge, again, thank you for everything and all the support that you as a council do, and that Mary, that you provide as well. So I have the award over here. If you want to grab a photo.
And while Mary's walking up, do you want me to be in the picture? Okay.
I have an entire photo shoot with that.
I think so. It's so hard. Congratulations again, and thank you so much.
And I'd just like to thank you for coming to make this presentation. We are so proud. And I know Elise Buckley-Weber, who was the mayor last year, had a wonderful time that evening, and we miss her. So, Elise, this is for you too. So thank you so much, everybody, and especially to you, Mary.
Thank you.
All right, now we're moving on to Intergovernmental Special Purpose Committee and departmental reports. First is the Las Virgenes Malibu Council of Governments. The day after our meeting 2 weeks ago, I joined fellow council members from Calabasas and Calabasas staff with a team from the Southern California Air Quality Management District. We went on a tour. We saw the entrance to the landfill and saw the trucks that were arriving there. And then we drove the AQMD staff around Calabasas to show them how close the parks and the residences were to the landfill. And they said that from what they observed, the landfill regulations are being enforced and the air quality is being monitored, and there are going to be weekly reports that will be publicly available. We also discussed that LA County has increased the COG's annual homeless funding allocation. This will allow us to add 3 additional beds at the People Concern, bringing that to a total of 7 beds. And we will also be maintaining 2 beds at the San Fernando Valley Mental Health Center. In addition, the COG will provide a mental health clinician to serve unhoused individuals as needed. So it's very good that we have received increased funding. And then Captain Jen Situ reported that she's holding the open house this Saturday. She hopes everybody in the community will join her. And they will be introducing Darcy, who is the new station dog. And also, Captain Situ said she attended a tech conference in Vegas, and she's very interested. She saw a radar box, and she's looking for partners to help purchase this. This covers open spaces and can detect human movement as opposed to animals and wildlife. So for those concerned with security, maybe some of our HOAs might think of partnering with Lost Hills Sheriff Station for this purchase. So that concludes my COG report. There is no Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy report at this time. Are there any reports from staff? Seeing none?
May I ask a question, Madam Mayor?
Yes, certainly.
With regards to the landfill monitoring, is there any discussion on where those reports are going to be housed and how the public is going to have access to those? Is it coming through the city? Is it going on a website?
It's on the AQMD website.
On AQMD?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe we can do some outreach just to...
We could put a link. We could put a link on our
maybe
website.
Our communications, our fantastically honored communications team can help spread that word.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that up. Any reports from City Council? No? All right, we're moving on to public comments. This section is reserved for persons wishing to speak on items not listed on the agenda that are under the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. If you have something to distribute to the City Council, please do not approach the dais. Hand your item to the clerk, and she will distribute it to us on your behalf. Public testimony is limited to 3 minutes per speaker, and a speaker's time may not be transferred to another speaker. Persons addressing the City Council should not engage in disorderly conduct that disrupts or otherwise impedes the orderly conduct of the meeting. I will now defer to the clerk.
Thank you, Mayor Sylvester. There were no written public comments received. However, we have received a speaker card. Our speaker this evening is Ben Suber.
Welcome, Ben. You have 3 minutes to speak, ending when the red light appears on the podium.
Well, thank you, Mayor Sylvester, City Council, City Manager Hamburger, and staff. If it looks like I got a little extra pep in my step, it's not just because of the fact that I am fresh from Heartbreak Hill at the Boston Marathon on Monday, which was really awesome. I recommended an appearance for everybody. But May 3rd is coming up, and guess what May 3rd is? Community Service Days. We have a number of projects lined up, including multiple plantings that are coming up at Forest Cove Park, and I'm so excited that I'm blanking out at Morrison Park as well. We also have stainings going on at Old Agoura Park, and of course we got to make sure that all the trash is picked up at around Chumash Park. See that I'm so excited and hyper. I'm less than 24 hours removed from Boston. That's how excited I am. But we got to make sure it's ready for concerts in the park. So once again, I wouldn't say this Saturday because, well, nobody's going to be there. So May 3rd is going to be taking place. And what do we want? Volunteers like you. We want you to sign up, and you can sign up on the city's website. That's right. Go to the city's website to sign up today. And at 8:30 a.m. or by 9 o'clock at Chumash Park, we start at 8:30 a.m., but we will be starting our volunteer projects at 9. We will be doing another great edition of Community Service Days. Once again, we want you to sign up. City's website on May 3rd at 9 a.m. And you can also come with as much excitement as a spectator like me at Heartbreak Hill in Boston, and congratulations to all runners. There were Agoura Hills runners who ran. Once again, May 3rd, Community Service Days. Get excited. It's going to be a blast.
Thank you so much, Ben. We really appreciate your enthusiasm and all the hours that you dedicate to our city. All right, we're now moving on to the consent calendar. This section is reserved for persons wishing to speak on items on the consent calendar. I will now defer to the clerk.
We've received no written public comments and no speaker cards.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the City Council on the consent calendar? Seeing none, I will now call for a motion and a second to adopt the consent calendar. Will the maker of the motion and second state your names?
City Councilwoman Chris Anstead, I make a motion to adopt the consent calendar.
Mayor Pro Tem Wolf, I will second.
Thank you. We'll defer to the clerk for the roll call vote.
Councilmember Anstead?
Aye.
Councilmember Klein Lopez?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wolf?
Aye.
Mayor Sylvester?
Aye.
Mayor Sylvester, you have approval 4-0.
Thank you. We're now moving on to our discussion action items. Our next item is discussion of City Gateway entry monument details for the Canaan Road, Agoura Road Ultimate Intersection Improvements Project. I will now defer to the Director of Public Works, the City Engineer, Charmaine Yambao.
Good evening, Mayor Sylvester and council members. I'm pleased to present conceptual design options for the City Gateway entry monument for the Canaan Road, Agoura Road Ultimate Intersection Project. And joining us is Laura Farnash, our design consultant from Kimley Horn and Associates, to help answer any questions you may have about the concept designs presented here tonight. The City Gateway entry monument is the final element needed to complete the plans, specification, and estimate package for the construction of the Canaan Road, Agoura Road intersection project. Staff is seeking City Council feedback on the Gateway monument design, specifically on the details and feature options, and the final direction on the monument design in order to proceed with the final design of the project. Our agenda for tonight is to first provide some feedback on the City Gateway entry monument, next a project status update, followed by presentation of the Gateway monument concepts with detailed design options, and we will close with the project's next steps. The City Gateway entry monument is part of the Canaan Road, Agoura Road Ultimate Intersection Improvements Project. The aerial photo on the left-hand side of the slide shows the project area. It includes the intersection and improvements along the south leg of Canaan Road to the South City limits. The improvements along the south leg of Canaan Road include undergrounding of the above-ground utilities and the City Gateway entry monument, which is the area within the red box shown on the aerial. On May 22nd, 2024, the City Council adopted the initial study, Mitigated Negative Declaration and Mitigation Monitoring and Reporting Program, completing the CEQA compliance document for the Agoura Village Specific Plan update, which included the Canaan Road, Agoura Road intersection project as a essential element of its revisions. The environmental document also approved the Gateway entry monument footprint and location, again shown in that red box, and the Canaan Agoura project was planned as a gateway between the city and the Santa Monica Mountains, with the Gateway entry monument serving as the physical representation of that idea. In April 2021, the monument design concepts were presented to the Public Works Subcommittee. The feedback provided was for more natural design instead of the more structured design we showed. In October 2021, 3 design concepts for the City Gateway entry monument of a more natural design was presented to City Council. 2 of the 3 were identified as preferred options, with recommendations to revisit design, placement, and message. In 2022, the signalized intersection design plans were completed, and last year in May 2024, the City Council adopted the environmental document, which again included the Gateway entry monument in the AVSP update. And earlier this year, on February, the 2 preferred monument concepts from the Agoura 2021 City Council meeting were brought to the Public Works Subcommittee for their feedback. The subcommittee preferred one of the two design concepts and provided feedback on detailed options to be considered by the whole City Council. The next step is to finalize the City Gateway Entry Monument design, which will complete the design for the Canaan Road, Agoura Road intersection project. On this slide, the two design options presented to the Public Works Subcommittee in February 2025 are shown here. The preferred design option by the subcommittee was option number 2, shown on the bottom of the slide, and it will be the one depicted for the remainder of the presentation. To note, both options show two monuments on either side of the roadway. Option 1 on the top of this slide shows the monuments right across from each other. Option number 2 on the bottom shows the monuments offset from each other. The subcommittee recommended the offset asymmetrical placement of the monuments should the council decide on 2. The subcommittee provided additional feedback for the City Council to consider. Again, the subcommittee preferred the one design option for the City Gateway Monument. But the subcommittee also provided the following details for incorporation into the monument design. 1, indigenous rocks, like lava rocks found in the Ladyface Mountain area as part of the monument. Inclusion of the city's logo or oak leaf as part of our branding. And they suggested wording for the monument welcoming residents and visitors into the city with the wording carved into the stone monument. The subcommittee also proposed that one gateway monument be considered. In that respect, they recommended keeping the entry monument, which faces the northbound vehicles on Canaan Road. So that would be the direction of cars entering into the city towards Agoura Road. And removing the southbound monument, which is the direction of the vehicles heading outside of Agoura. And the next few slides that I'm going to show provide renderings of the preferred City Gateway monument design with options of only one monument and proposed features and details for consideration. I'd like to start with the consideration of number of monuments. The rendering on the top of the slide presents one monument facing northbound vehicles on Canaan. The monument welcomes both residents and visitors into the city, and with the additional message that the city is the gateway to the Santa Monica Mountains. The rendering on the bottom of the slide presents two monuments, one facing northbound vehicles on Canaan, and the second facing southbound vehicles on Canaan. The second monument facing southbound vehicles would let the public know they are entering the Santa Monica Mountains. The Public Works Subcommittee recommended offset placement of the monuments if the preference is for 2. The Public Works Subcommittee also proposed one gateway monument for consideration. The subcommittee felt that reducing the number of monuments was more in line with the city's simple rustic character and also didn't overstate the message. The next 2 slides presents 3 renderings of the gateway monument for the northbound and 3 renderings for the southbound direction. Before we get into the details, I would like to make a few notes. One is directional lighting is included as part of the project, but will remain low and specific to providing light onto the monument. Second, the wording on the monument is shown as engraved into the monument rock. And third, staff is seeking feedback and direction on the message, city logo, and whether to include landscaping or no landscaping. On this slide, renderings for the northbound gateway monument is shown. There are 3 options provided. As noted earlier, the gateway monument shape is the same, but the details are different for each option. Option 1 on the left side shows the monument with the following details. The message is, "Welcome to the City of Agoura Hills," and underneath is "Gateway to the Santa Monica Mountains." The city's oak leaf relief is recessed behind the wording, and lava rock and native and climate-appropriate landscaping is included. Option 2 in the middle of the slide shows the monument with the following details. The message says, "City of Agoura Hills," with the gateway to the Santa Monica Mountains under, and the city's oak leaf is on the bottom right side of the wording, a smaller leaf than what is shown in option 1. And again, there's lava rock with native landscaping. Option 3 on the right side of the slide shows the monument with the following details. The message, "Welcome to the City of Agoura Hills," and underneath it, "Gateway to the Santa Monica Mountains." The city's oak leaf relief is recessed behind the wording, but this time just lava rock and no landscaping is provided. On this slide, renderings for the southbound Gateway Monument are shown. There are 3 options provided. I would like to note, depending on whether the City Council prefers 1 or 2 monuments, the southbound design would not be utilized. Option 1 on the left side shows the monument with the following details. Message is "Entering the Santa Monica Mountains." The city's oak leaf relief is recessed behind the wording, and lava rock and native and climate-appropriate landscaping is included. Option 2, the middle of the slide, has the following details. Message is the same, "Entering the Santa Monica Mountains," but this time the city's logo is centered and under the wording, and the lava rock with native landscaping is included. The final and option 3 is on the right side of the slide and shows the monument with the following details. Entering the Santa Monica Mountains, the city's oak leaf is to the right under the wording, smaller leaf than the first option, and again, it's just a lava rock and no landscaping. The next steps to the construction of the whole project, which includes the intersection and the Gateway Entry Monument, is final monument design, which we're estimating to take about 2 months. The right-of-way phase, about 6 to 9 months. Then the development of the final design package for construction, an additional 2 to 3 months. And construction of the whole project, which is the intersection and the Gateway Monument, is estimated at 12 to 18 months. This concludes our presentation. Staff would like to welcome feedback and final direction on 1, number of monuments, 2, wording of the message, 3, whether we should include landscaping, and 4, the city logo. We can go back to any slide if we need to as part of our discussions. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Before we move on to public comment, does any council member have any questions of staff? No? Great. I will now defer to the clerk. Are there any public comments?
Thank you, Mayor Sylvester. No written public comments have been received and no speaker cards have been submitted.
Thank you. Does any council member have any further questions? No, sorry? No questions. Now we're going to go on to deliberations. So, Councilmember Klein-Lopez, would you like to start?
Sure, thank you. Thank you for the presentation and for the very clear staff report. I can make my comments fairly quickly. I am not a designer by any stretch of the imagination, but my eye knows what it likes, and so for me it was pretty easy. Personally, I like the offset. I like the 2 monuments with the offset. I think it's important to recognize both areas separately and uniquely, so I do like the offset. I like the 2 monuments. I like recognizing the Santa Monica Mountains and the City of Agoura Hills, and I like the offset nature of them, and I don't think that it's too overwhelming because of the natural rock materials that this will be made out of. On the northbound side, if you wouldn't mind going back to that slide, I prefer option 2, and I'll tell you why. Welcome, we have a lot of words, right? So City of Agoura Hills is a lot of words, and Gateway to the Santa Monica Mountains is a lot of words. So I don't think that adding welcome to the is necessary. That is just even more words that someone might be trying to read as they're zipping by. So I like simple. I like number 2. I like the small oak leaf to the side, and I like the very simple native landscaping along with the rock. I feel like the extra words and the big leaf make it very busy, and on a beautiful rock like that, I think it can be, option 2 is the simplest. So no big leaf, no welcome, small leaf, simple landscaping, engraved. Okay, so that's option 2 is my preference. Next slide is the southbound. Again, I do like that there's north and southbound. Again, I do like option 2 with one caveat. Entering the Santa Monica Mountains is a nice phrase. I like the very simple native landscaping to be consistent with the northbound side, and also to be consistent with the northbound side, I would like to see the small oak leaf to the right, like there is in option 3. So it's a little bit, so option 2, but with the little oak leaf of option 3, I think makes it consistent with what would be shown on the other side if we choose to do the 2 monuments. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mayor, so can I go next?
Yes,
since,
certainly.
discuss about the subcommittee conversation a little bit.
Absolutely.
So a few of the things that the first option we were given was there was some rock sculptures, and it didn't give the vibe of rustic Agoura Hills. So that was one component that we like, why we like this second version. And we know that there's a lot of design, and so we wanted to bring it to the council. One of the items that we were pretty adamant on was to include an oak leaf, the city's logo. That was really one of the main components. The other idea was the lava rock. That was brought. I don't want the council to think that if you guys, I wanted to get your opinion on what that looked like. And so I don't know if that, I want to hear what you guys think about that, because Ladyface is an ancient volcano, and if you look up through these windows right here, you can see the lava rock, so it's kind of a cool theme, but wanted to make sure that the council was on board with that. Also wanted to talk about how much text, and if that includes welcome to, or just the city of Agoura Hills. And Councilmember Klein-Lopez, you articulated well that it does get busy, but I wanted to get the council's opinion on what the greeting wanted to be. Also want to get the council's opinion on 1 or 2 monument signs. We did think that offset looked better than having the 2 signs parallel, but wanted to get the council's opinion on that. And I think that I appreciate Councilmember Klein-Lopez's comment about on option 2. If we do go with that, it should be matching. So I'm not giving, I know this wasn't helpful because I'm not giving any direction, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that we discussed, and we were kind of happy with all these options, and so that's why we wanted to bring it to the council. So I'd like to hear how you guys.
I think I gave you everything you need except the lava rock, which I like.
Okay.
I think I would just add that to my comments, and then I think I answered all of the questions that you were hoping to get from us.
Yes, perfect. So yeah, from that, I'd love to hear from the other council members.
Councilmember Anstead.
One question now is staff that I didn't have before that I want to ask them about.
I think we'll allow it.
Okay, thank you. I'm trying to understand the cost of each of them, whether it's northbound or southbound, approximately how much for each one of these, if we were to.
So we have a rough estimate of 50 to 100,000 for each of them.
For each one of them?
The rocks are pretty expensive. Not the lava rock itself, but definitely the large stone. Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you, Laura. I do want to mention, it was mentioned in the staff report, that the project is being fully funded by both Measure R and M for both the design and construction. So it seems like a lot, but it is relatively small in the whole scheme of the larger project.
If we didn't use the funds for this, we could use it for other purposes for the village, or tell me where else we could use the funds.
Measure R and M are very specific to the project. It was something that was approved in the long-term planning of transportation planning, so it's very specific to this project, not necessary for the village, but for the Canaan-Agoura intersection project, which happens to include these monuments. I don't want to mention this word, but it used to be a roundabout, and one of the aesthetic qualities of the roundabout was kind of this like entry. So these monuments kind of serve as that entry, that aesthetic entry.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So I think my feeling on it is I like the entrance to the city. Obviously, I want to make sure that you welcome people into our city. I know there is a sign on Los Virgenes welcoming people to the Santa Monica Mountains. So I think that maybe that's kind of where we're coming up with this idea about having one on the entrance and one on the exit. But I kind of feel like it's unnecessary for our city to fund a sign that says, well, now you're entering the Santa Monica Mountains. And so I feel like just having the northbound one is what my preference would be. And I like the design of option 2 with the city logo on the right side with the leaf there on the right side. Because it doesn't, I think unfortunately when the leaf is in the middle of the language, people could mistake it for all kinds of things. And so I think that's one of the things I'm worried about. So I would prefer the leaf to be on the right side of it. And I would also agree with Councilmember Lopez about the wording, have less wording on the rock as well. I think that's a good thing. You don't want people staring at it too long as they drive by. And I think the lava rock's fine. I could either do with it or do without it. I think it might add a little aesthetic to it. I think that's my feeling on it.
And with or without vegetation?
With vegetation.
Thank you. Anything? That's it? Okay. Can we go back to the end slide when you had all the things we had to discuss? So this is the first time I've come across this. So I feel that we only need one monument coming into the city. Again, I didn't realize how expensive they were, but I just didn't think it was necessary. I mean, you know you're entering the Santa Monica Mountains. You're visually seeing it. You don't need to read a sign for that. I think it's important that we welcome you to the city of Agoura Hills. The message to me is way too long, because I think when you're driving, welcome to Agoura Hills is about all you're going to read anyway, unless you're in a traffic jam, which hopefully you aren't. So I would be just happy with welcome to the city of Agoura Hills, or welcome to Agoura Hills. I like the leaf, as everybody has said, that the small one on the right. I don't mind the lava rock. I think that's a nice reference to the Lady Faye's Mountain. But I just wanted to question the vegetation. When you say it's natural plants, are they going to, what kind of maintenance? Are they just going to shrivel up and die? So that would be a concern of mine. Are we just doing something that we can't maintain? How would that be covered?
If we have the vegetation, we will have to put in irrigation lines and a meter to help sustain it. Yes, so we would need to maintain it. That is correct.
Okay, so then my preference would be not to go to that expense and just have the natural lava rock. That's just a personal. I mean, I think it looks lovely with the vegetation, but 1 year down the road, what have we got? So that would be my one query that I would, I think we should consider. So I've covered it, right? So I think one is sufficient. I like a short, simple welcome to the city of Agoura Hills, and keep the lava rock and no landscaping would be my preference.
Can I throw out an idea, and I know I should have come up with this in subcommittee, but what if it said, and I want to get the council's idea, welcome to the city of Agoura Hills on the front, and on the back it said gateway to the Santa Monica Mountains, so then that way people who are driving, it would be the gateway, and it has our city logo.
I don't know if anybody would see it.
That's a good point, but could it be? Yeah, I guess you're right. If it's turned,
and do we definitely want a light on it? Because aren't we trying to move away from lighting things? I mean, do you think it's necessary to light it?
I do. I mean, that's the point of it, is that we're welcoming people, you know, especially in the winter when it's dark, you know, so early. I mean, I originally, to Mayor Pro Tem's point, that's originally what I was under the impression it was going to be. I thought it was going to be one monument with something on both sides. So I don't know if that's possible or not, or if you just discussed it at all. And, you know, I mean, I can count the votes. I understand that I'm in the minority about the two, monuments, but you know, our entire identity is based on the fact that we are next, you know, next to the Santa Monica Mountains. So I would be, just publicly stating, I would be very sad if we did not have that statement that as people were leaving, they were entering the beautiful Santa Monica Mountains. I think that's very much our identity as well. So, you know, this is why I was, you know, advocating for two monuments. If there's a way to do it on one, I would be open to that. I just don't know if that means it have to go back to the subcommittee, but I very much think it's important to tell people that they're leaving our city and going into the mountains.
And would you like, so to have lights on both sides as well then?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're talking about very low lights, which I think are easier to set up even on solar than, you know, these aren't bright lights. And then the other question is, I agree that if landscaping becomes a whole irrigation issue, then I think I'm fine foregoing that and going with just the lava rocks.
So how much additional would it be to have a double sign?
Probably remain the same. I mean, the etching is probably, or the
So that would
engraving
be
is probably the
nominal.
least of the cost, really.
Yes. And you're already running electricity there, so it would just have the lighting on both ends.
I'd like Laura Forenash to also talk about the lighting, because there's a second reason for it, and it has to do with safety.
Thank you.
Yeah, just given the proximity to the roadway, so we're offset, you know, recommended 10 or 15 feet from your edge of travel, but if we're having cars drive by this obstruction, we want to make sure that they see it, and in the event that they have to pull over, are not running into our monument sign.
Okay, I appreciate the safety element. I would be happy with if we could do the double. I think that's a much better idea. Councilman Branstad.
Yeah, the only one point that I want to make about the front of the sign, about saying the gateway to Santa Monica Mountains as well, is where this is depicted. For sure, during the summer, the traffic does back up there. So everybody will be seeing that if we were to leave more words on the front of it. Because, I mean, I know from, and I'm sure a lot of us have sat in traffic during the summer right there, where that's right where that is. And so that it'll be still be able to be read on the front. And I agree with you, if we have to run irrigation, I would be not for planting the plants there if we're gonna have to run water to that. So I would prefer just the lava rock.
Right.
Than on the front of it. But I would be probably okay if it said something like leaving the city of Agoura Hills, the gateway to the Santa Monica Mountains, or
Well, I think we're saying on the other, you're talking about entering you wanted the gateway.
Right, entering, but also on the other side, if we're going to put something on the other side, I just think it's kind of a little weird just to say entering the Santa Monica Mountains. I mean,
Well, no, because you're obviously leaving the city, because there's just open space around you.
Yeah,
So-
well, that's why I was saying, I'm wondering if we're going to say something that should say, like, leaving Agoura Hills, the gateway to the Santa Monica Mountains or something, if you're going to.
I think that's a bit
Just
much,
welcome to,
yeah.
whatever you said it so perfectly.
It would be like, okay, so it's on the front, it would say, welcome to the city of Agoura Hills. I guess we're all in agreement with entering or welcome. That's the other thing. We need to figure out the language. So let's discuss that. But welcome to the city of Agoura Hills on the front. And then on the back, as you're entering, in quotations, it would say gateway to the Santa Monica Mountains. So it's serving two purposes. So the people who are leaving the city of Agoura Hills see our tagline, and it's the gateway to the Santa Monica Mountains.
Is it going to say Agoura Hills of some sort?
I don't think it would say Agoura Hills on the back side, because it would have the oak logo, but they're leaving the city. So I don't, from what I picture, I don't think it would say Agoura Hills on the back,
It would just say gateway to the.
or the city's tagline.
Could I add one thing too? I'm sorry. Could I add one thing? So if we're talking about putting a message on the backside of the one monument, that would require lighting, and that for safety reasons, you're now having drivers that are going southbound, their visuals pointed to the opposite direction.
It's a good point.
It's not something that we would recommend, and there's also the knoll that we're trying to not light up, because providing that lighting on that side lights the knoll as well. I would say I would not advise it. We could try to work with it, but it does provide some sort of visionary distraction for the vehicles.
Okay, so no. Nix that, sorry. All right, so where do we line out? So number of monuments, what is the feeling? Councilmember Klein-Lopez would like 2.
I like 2.
Councilmember Anstead, 1. Councilmember Wolf?
I'm gonna have to, if we can't do it on the back, I'm gonna go with 2, because I think it's important to have the tagline, so I'm 2.
Okay. I am not comfortable with, even though it's Measure R&M funds, $50,000 to $100,000. To me, I would like to welcome people to the city. I think when they're leaving Agoura, they know where they're going. So I would vote for 1. So now we're split. So that doesn't help you, Charmaine. We need to get Kate back. So, or we'll have Nate weigh in.
Can we continue it until
Do you want
she
to
comes back?
continue?
We can, if that's the council's desire to bring the item back, we can, yes.
Okay. The message, do we just want to continue the whole thing then?
I mean, personally, I think that Councilmember Anderson has a very good sense of this.
Yeah.
So if we are split, I would like her, I think that her input would be important.
Good. All right. So who will make a motion
If
to?
it doesn't, I mean, does this really delay you? Is it?
It doesn't necessarily delay, it's just that it's the one last element of the whole package. And normally when you get to that point, that's when you can really freely talk to the properties that are adjacent, to talk about how it affects their properties, what the whole project looks like. And honestly, it wouldn't be difficult to do a whole design package without this last element. So, and as you can see, it takes at least 2 to 3 months to do the final detailed design, because we would still need to come back with like materials and, things like that.
I mean, if we can wait 2 weeks for Councilmember Anderson, you tell me, I don't know what's on the docket.
No, we definitely can. We can bring the item back at the next council meeting.
Let's defer it for 2 weeks then, I think, and then we'll find out.
And is there any point, we have everything else settled though? Do we want to continue talking about the other things that we can agree on?
Yes, absolutely.
So we can get as much done, so that when Kate comes here, it's maybe
It's
Councilmember
just a
Anderson.
question of the 1
Yeah.
or 2. So the message would be the option, could we look at option 2 again? For the northbound? So option 2, so it just says City of Agoura Hills. Do you need the gateway, do you think? You want to have that?
That's our tagline.
Okay, all right. So it would be option 2. And was there anything you wanted to? Yes, so everything on option 2, everybody's comfortable with?
I think from what I'm hearing though, option 2 minus the native landscape.
Yes, minus the native. Okay, so everybody is agreement on that. Good. And then so if there is going to be a second sign, we should look at so that again, it was option 2 for the southbound without the landscape and the leaf to the right
So
to
that would
match
be, that would actually be option 3.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Option 3. I wrote down option 3.
Well, I had said option 2 because originally I liked the landscaping.
Yeah, okay,
But
right, yes.
option
thank
3
you.
actually has no landscaping and the small leaf.
Okay, so it would be
So
option 3.
Option 3.
Okay, and then they would both have lights because of the safety element. Okay, and then what was the last question on the last slide? Oh, well, yeah, we've covered it all then. So,
Last one was logo, and you already covered it.
yes.
so.
And with, I do just want to make sure we're okay with the lava rocks, because I don't want people to think that like it's Hawaii. I mean, it's a theme, and I don't know if there's color lava rocks, but if we can try and get it as close to Ladyface Mountain. I don't know what direction that is, but yeah, we'll hike up, yeah. Yeah. And then why is there this beautiful artist rendered oak tree? Would that be part of the native landscaping, or?
So the oak tree, if it works out, working with the developer, we would relocate one of the more mature oaks in that location. Yeah, if it works out. I mean, that's the intention. Otherwise, we would plant another.
And how would you need to establish it? You'd need water, and would you do that manually, or?
We can do that manually. We've done that with the other trees before, too.
And then after a certain amount of time, it's self-sustaining?
Correct.
Okay. Does that answer your
Yes,
question?
thank you.
So we'll say with oak tree, and that's on the southbound side, correct? Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. So do I have a motion to approve, with the exception that we're coming back in 2 weeks to decide one or two? Is that what I'm?
Maybe make a motion to continue the item for
Just
discussion.
continue the item. Okay.
I'll make a motion to continue the item.
Mayor Pro Tem Wolf, I'll second.
Thank you. I'll defer to the city clerk for the roll call.
Councilmember Ansted,
Aye.
Councilmember Klein Lopez,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wolf,
Aye.
Mayor Sylvester.
Aye.
Mayor Sylvester, you have approval of 4-0.
Thank you very much. So that is it. Are there any comments from staff? Yes.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and council members. This time of year, we are not only celebrating Arbor Day, as Director of Public Works Yambo mentioned earlier, but we're also celebrating Earth Day. We have a lot of activities going on around the two ideas. Thank you to Chair Ben Suber of the Community Service Days Committee for reminding us to sign up for Community Service Days. It is Saturday, May 3rd, and the link to register is on our website. And then the week after that, on Saturday, May 10th, we're celebrating Public Safety Day. So we're not going to see you again before Public Safety Day. That's being held at Station 89 from 10 a.m. to 2. It is free to the community. We hand out hot dogs. We have a lot of entertainment for the kids, and all of our public safety emergency services will be there on that day. So we have a lot of exciting events going on. And I think to piggyback what Director Yambo said earlier, I want to thank our landscape team and our contractors, Brightview and West Coast, for keeping our trees and our parks looking so beautiful and taking care of them and ensuring that they're healthy through this environmental period that we're going through right now. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any other staff reports? Are there any comments from City Council?
Yes, I have a comment. I do want to notice that it was Councilmember Ansted's birthday on April 19th, and today is Councilmember Klein Lopez's birthday, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday, everybody.
Greatest birthday present. I didn't get two monument signs for my birthday, but we'll see.
And I would just like to say that I'd like to thank the Cultural Arts Committee and our staff for an excellent student art show. It was very well attended, and we had some amazing pieces of art on display. And it's still on display, I believe, until, is it the end of this week? Anyway, it's next, yes. So please, if you haven't seen it, please go up to our Recreation and Events Center. I attended a ribbon cutting. We welcomed Oxygen Yoga and Fitness, which is located in the shopping center on Canaan right next to CVS. And then Louis Soler and I attended a Waymo Zoom. And with the Waymo representative, they are expanding in the Los Angeles area. They are not yet approved to go on the freeways. That may take another year or so. So obviously they're not going to move out to this area until they can go on the freeways. And when they do, they will create a sort of hub somewhere locally for their cars to go back to be charged and cleaned. and stored when they're not in use. But again, it's probably several years out, and you have to be 18 years old to use a Waymo. So that's something we'll be looking forward to in the future. And with that, the second goal-setting workshop is scheduled for 4 p.m., followed by the regular City Council meeting scheduled for 6 p.m. on Wednesday, May the 14th, 2025, in the Council chambers of the Civic Center, located at 30001 Ladyface Court, Agoura Hills, California. This meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.